Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. Back once again in the shop, because I had stuff to do, and it's a slightly better laptop to do it on as well. Every time I put a YouTube video up and I actually look at the grainy quality of that camera, I'm like, oh, it's not even that old. This one does look better though, and hopefully the sound is better as well. Today we are reviewing Deep Beyond by Mirko Andolfo, and I'm familiar with their work. Done a few things which I've paid attention to. It's really blown me away though. I think sometimes it comes down to just a writing style which isn't particularly my cup of tea. But this one actually, it took me a little bit more, I've got to be honest. It's probably the first one I've read of hers that actually was like, yeah, okay, this and a few more of the the good stylistic choices for me. It's not particularly overwrought, or there's a couple of places where it is, but it's done on purpose. There's literally somebody doing effectively movie villain monologuing, and it kind of needs to be slightly overdone for that kind of thing. Doing it as just a normal speech at that point would be weird and unusual, and would kind of take away from the dramatic moment of murdering and sacrificing a whole bunch of people. But why, you ask? Why is this person murdering and sacrificing a whole bunch of people? Well, to answer that one, you've got to read the comic book in full. But apparently, sometime around the year 2000, in this alternate universe, stuff went wrong. There's never been an entirely good explanation of why it's wrong, at least in issue 1. But 85 years later, they're living in a post-apocalyptic world with some kind of mutant spores and aliens and monsters running around outside, and all the other people who are safe in various compounds, either like particularly wealthy or science communities and all that kind of thing. So far, I don't know much of the thing that's happening with the poor people in it, which would be kind of cool, interesting to see how that's going to play out. Usually in this kind of movie, there is an underclass that needs to do all the actual work so everyone else can survive. The fact that they haven't really been mentioned in this first issue leads me to believe that there's something building up there, which is good, because that's kind of what the first issue is doing. There's quite a lot of exposition in it, but it's done in ways that are interesting, not just walls of text, which there's occasionally quite a lot of words in there, but for the most part it's show rather than tell. Nice little bits with somebody finding a picture with the part folded over that they'd forgotten about, which just suddenly throws an awful lot of extra information in there in a way that actually seems natural and normal, rather than just I wonder if blah 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 blah, and actually have this person thought bubble the entire thing out for you. It just does a very good job of explaining through the artwork. The artwork itself is very nice and very shiny. And when you see the outside world, in fact, and the effects of the virus or the spores or whatever it might be, again, not fully explained, it's got a certain glorious wonder to it, in fact. The line work and the colouring together actually really jump off the page. What lets it down a little bit is just the general, the people of it all. And it's not bad. There's nothing about it which makes me think, gosh, I could have done better than this, or it's even, subpar by standard Image Comics kind of work. It's good, but I think it pales a little bit when compared to everything else that's going on. There is simply just glorious moments of both horror and beauty, including as a party of all things. But there's other bits where it's just two people having a conversation in a room. And it feels like the artist just kind of wanted to get back to doing something a bit more exciting, and actually felt like, just let's quickly get this through. I don't really need to put too much in. There's one with running on makeup, crying because somebody she knows has died recently, or has at least gone missing recently, and that's a really nice moment. But the next time you see it in the panel, it honestly looks like there's just been somebody's gone on the cheeks, under the eyes, very little effort put into making it look like somebody with mascara running. They've had it described to them rather than actually seen it before. But then you go a few pages later and you've got the wonderful moments again, where they're outside and seeing the unworldly, monstrous alien landscape, which looks beautiful. It's inconsistent, which is a shame. I will say the writing, actually, the dialogue is more consistent. It feels realistic to a point, but never needs to. It never goes quite far. And when it needs to be over the top, it manages it quite nicely, without ever actually going to an unnecessary hyperbolic state. It's all good, and I think my problem there is it never really goes above and beyond anything apart from a few pages of artwork. It never really blew my mind. it never got to the point of like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to read what's happening next. Even though it's set up like a really good world, and there's a whole lot of story we've not got yet, and I'm really hoping we're going to get a lot more explanation, like the past of the world that's going on, what's going on at the same time in the present as well. But there was something about it which just it felt a little bit safer than some of her other stuff. Which, don't get me wrong, has not been my favorite thing in the world, but at least it was bold and was trying to do something brave and exciting and new. And this one, unfortunately, didn't quite get that. Just missed it by a smidge. Right, anyway, that's it for me. I'll be back on Tuesday with the new comic book day video. Take it easy, stay safe, bye.